And here we are, in the sewers that are still brighter and clearer than Liberty Island. In the interest of not driving myself insane and getting angry at the textures, I have removed New Vision and switched off the high definition character models for all the HDTV stuff. I realise this is not how the mod makers intended it to be played, but guess what? I've modded your mod. Deal with it. So I started playing this mod pack because I was intrigued by what someone with no experience, no training, and no clue thought they could do to improve Deus Ex. Particularly given how these particular creators of the mod pack were kind of jerks. By the way, if you're looking for a good Deus Ex overhaul mod, this is certainly not the place for you. Instead, I recommend checking out GMDX, which is pretty awesome overall and does some really interesting things with the interface, AI, and gear, as well as some minor revisions to various levels. The initial play I was doing was basically just for shits and giggles, but given that the creators wanted to deny things like that pitch blackness was an obstacle to playing the game, or that anyone who didn't promote the game was pathetic and hated them, well, I figured it'd be a good exercise in studying game design simply because they've done so much wrong and, well, we're not exactly friendly or engaging with criticism. First time anyone's ever gotten my name wrong right after getting it right. So you know we're in for quality times. Anyway, let's open it up and see what's inside. Today I'm looking at the area between Hell's Kitchen and the Return to Battery Park. Curious whether this would actually set off. Ha! Limbo champion extraordinaire. Okay, remember how despite only having 2 weeks of training, the NSF guys had somehow worked out how to set up laser wires for optimal efficiency? Look at this shit. You can't put this shit in a video game and expect people to take you seriously. Not unless you're also going to include an elaborate and easily escapable death trap. Okay, I will retract criticism of this element if there is an elaborate and easily escapable death trap later in this area. Love that they put this layout in a game like this, because you see like maze of lasers like this and it brings to mind so much cool espionage imagery. Because this is a game made in 2000 and, you know, free running games weren't really a concept that had been explored in 3D. This is, you know, your options are more like this. Parkour! What is this window made of? How tough is this window? What is this window made out of? And why? This is the most video games thing I've ever seen. Did they deliberately design this in case a cyborg came along and he happened to have like enough melee or enough explosives that he could blow that window? The only thing that I have that would like make a dent on it, it seems, is lambs. And why would I, like, lam the window when I can do this? I am the ultimate spy. ever notice other spies with your EMPs, you filthy casuals. The original design of the bridge room is in itself super interesting. In the tradition of such things as the original Doom levels, the Black Mesa compound, and the inside of the Death Star, it is vastly more spacious than it has any right to be. Makes no sense outside of its immediate momentary context, and is awesome because of it. While the design is almost entirely because video games, it's basically a masterclass in how you can create interesting problems for the player to overcome in the Deus Ex system. It puts a bunch of them all together and lets the player take time to think about how they want to solve it and how much they want to risk in the process. It particularly keeps in mind that at this point in the game, you haven't had the chance to power up or customize too much. So this area takes advantage of that by setting up varying distances and scarce cover so that if you get caught sneaking, you're going to be in a difficult situation as the guards shoot at you while you're waiting for your targeting reticule to shrink down to a useful size. It is possible to shoot your way through it, it is possible to sneak your way through it, and it is possible to mix and match. But the better you understand the systems, keep track of everything and plan accordingly, the better you'll do. Best of all, if you fuck up, you're guaranteed to learn something about how the game works and how to avoid the problem later on. This is the ideal way to prepare players for bigger challenges later on in the game. This was a great introduction to the Majestic 12 guards because it gave the impression that they were better trained and a lot better prepared than any of the NSF guys you dealt with previously. They're here with a purpose. The setup creates dramatic tension, and if things go sideways, they have effective options. Revision pretty much left this area more or less exactly as it was in the original. So let's see what they did with the rest of this compound. Spoiler, they fucked it up. This is the exact opposite. I can only assume that guy was supposed to be like a cheap jump scare. But, like, what was he doing here? What was he supposed to be watching? How was he supposed to be protecting anything? Why wasn't he posted here? That way, like, he could see you coming and he could duck into this alcove for cover and be shooting back and forward at you, and it'd be dramatic, and you'd want to stop him from running away, and you'd have to, like, worry about this thing if you hadn't already hacked it.
Someone's there. I can hear you.
Another brilliant troop placement. I'm sure he's just sleeping. Oh no, what have I done? I've made the human centipede. Okay, so using that camera is actually and leaving it on is actually one of the most effective ways to, like, lure them in.
Guy in a coat. I'm checking it out.
As the human centipede here more or less demonstrates, along with Buddy, who's been lying out here in the open unmourned and unnoticed and getting cut in half at the door. This whole level is now, like, there's more MJ12 guys, but they're so incompetent. I wish that there weren't. And there's still only 2 beds. Chloe, red door, this is new. What's in here? Dead people. Garbage. hobo bodies float. MJ12 bodies not only sink, they sink and fall through the floor. Oh, heat floats. So if they bounce off the garbage, they'll float, but otherwise they sink. Oh, okay. Wait a minute. I'm not playing Hitman. And if I was, where are these bodies going to? There's grills at both ends. This garbage can't go anywhere. It can just stay here and stink. And why is it so well lit up? And why is there like this bright red light? And why can the door not be closed ever again? What is going on? Okay, let's go talk to Ford.
You must be Ford Chick.
Who are you?
Smuggler sent me. Who's holding you here? I don't recognize the uniforms of the soldiers.
I don't know. They're private security for a biotech company or something. They had me doing antibody work.
Corporate security isn't usually outfitted to fight a ground war.
They're doing experiments on people. They don't want anybody finding out.
Doing experiments on people.
Tell him I'm all right.
Rules are rules, buddy. You gotta go join your friends. That is the weirdest water I have come across in a video game. Well, rules is rules. I think it's just going to keep bobbing there forever. Yeah, this should tell you something about this section of the mod, that this is the most interesting part. Oh! You're still alive, somehow. Tell your friends so that they know what to expect. That should make for an interesting report. Oh, is there more stuff back here? There you go, screwing around, showing complete contempt for a level. Hey, you guys, I know a really cool spot you can dump all these bodies.
We'll take it from here.
Automated security in this area. There's a control panel somewhere, about waist level. It might be hidden.
No, it's really not. Tripwires.
Keep looking. Something fell.
This may seem like a minor quibble or just complaining for complaining's sake, but consider this. Ultimately, games are about you getting to make choices and experiencing the outcome of those choices. In order for those choices to be meaningful, you have to be reasonably well informed about what you're choosing and have a reasonable belief that you can predict the outcome of your decision, whether it's as simple as clicking a mouse to pull the trigger, or choosing a dialogue option that will open up the beginnings of the romance you've been dreaming of. If enemies' competence is more or less randomly allocated, with early goons just 360 no-scoping us while supposedly hardened professionals walk face first into our shots, it completely destroys our confidence in predicting the outcome of the choices. This means that when you're supposed to be enjoying making things happen just as you think they should, you're going to become frustrated, and when you're supposed to be having these expectations subverted, well, that experience in itself is subverted because you don't really have any major expectations anymore. The AI in the original Deus Ex was not terribly sophisticated, but the combination of troop placement, equipment, and varying amounts of backup you had meant that they were able to keep it fairly consistent and an interesting difficulty incline. In Revision, it's just, I struggle to believe anyone actually playtested this problem. Wait. Oh dear. Okay, so this guy has been boarded up in this room alone. He doesn't seem to have a sniper rifle or anything. He doesn't have any way in or out. And the boards can't be shattered with a crowbar. What series of decisions led to this? Are these boards even breakable at all? Okay, there are trapped in here by himself. Barred in with a locked chest. And then the chest is pitch black inside. It's got ammo. And who designed this room? Why was this room designed? How did he get the barrel that's burning in here? So many questions that I kind of want the answer to, but I don't think I really want the answer to, because I worry I'll lose IQ points. Story Warren Spector has about how his wife got really upset playing the game because she put down a couple of doggies and she didn't want to. Okay, so thus far in Revision, attempting to get anywhere that looks interesting is usually a complete waste of your time. Will this hold up? Will I even be able to get up here, or will I be screwed because this one box here will just be a little too high? This could take a while. Oh. I'm not even bothering with the crowbar anymore. It's in here. We got electricity, tranquilizer darts. Oh. Yeah, now there's a crate for it. door that looks like it can open, but it can't. And bullets. Stupid fire. Still don't get why the NSF would want to look so hostile and scary. Like, why? They're fluffy socialists.
Did something go wrong?
You do not need to hear anything from me. Take the helicopter back to base. I am sure Manderley has planned a debriefing for the top agents.
Let's go.
Okay, so in the original Deus Ex, this is the first time you come across the Men in Black. And it's kind of a big deal because you have no idea who these guys are, where they come from, or what they're connected to.
Simons.
In Revision, they're kind of less of a big deal. There's MIBs living in our basement in this restricted area. That's blatantly labeled restricted area for anyone who enters the med bay. What are you doing out of the basement? You're not a bodyguard, you're a basement dweller. Lloyd, can you believe the people that they're letting out of our basement? Go check out my office. What the? Where did my sniper rifle go? Janice, I want to file a complaint. There was a sniper rifle in my office when I left. Now it's gone. People are stealing my stuff and replacing it with binoculars and a multi-tool.
You'll have to wait a minute. Mr. Manderley is busy. I was here first. Mr. Manderley is in a meeting, JC. You'll have to wait.
I was told to report for a debriefing.
A debriefing. Do not worry. I will state in my report that I was satisfied with your performance.
Hostile work environment. Okay. What the? It kind of amuses me because even though I'm not a huge fan of it, one of the things that they could have done for this is, now that we've had Deus Ex Human Revolution, where we know that Gunther used to be a member of the Tyrants, we could like have had some sort of memorabilia or some memento that he kept in here, something obscure, I don't know. I somehow doubt this rocket is it. I'm not sure why his fan is short-circuiting. Whether it's supposed to be a metaphor for him or the world pissing on him, I don't know.
They've got some kind of specialist from Washington downstairs. Somebody to interrogate the prisoners.
Okay, but it's not so much downstairs, it's just over here.
I have one question.
They already asked. I don't know.
One must admire a man who can keep a secret because he has value. What you know more than others makes money and gives you a measure of power.
You Walton Simons? You think I could be bribed?
Margaret Forsyth under NSF protection in Queens. Your son Richard attending Bronx Science. You see, I have a few relevant facts myself. Care to make a trade?
You wouldn't dare.
I'll give you 2 seconds to decide. Get out of here, Denton. This is none of your business.
How did he know I was here?
Time's up. Where is the NSF taking the ambrosia?
They asked me already. I don't know.
Need I remind you? I am a patient man.
Ask me if I care.
But not that patient. You saw nothing, Denton. Report to the helipad.
Oh, God.
I think Mr. Simons wants to be alone with the prisoner.
Ew.
Civilized. That's the word. I guess I was expecting a little more class from the world's anti-terrorist organization.
Okay, maybe that door isn't completely useless. Except for the fact that it's only got a button control. I love this bizarre compromise of, okay, we'll take away the dummy control pad so you don't waste hours trying to guess the code, but we'll leave in the complete red herring walkway. Like it was adding something to the level. So apparently this is supposed to be Paul with Paul and JC's dad. Still don't know why they're white.
Get on the helicopter, Mr. Denton. Simons did not appreciate your interference.
Something odd about his biometrics.
You keep talking shit, buddy, and you're going back in the basement in a body bag. Got it?
Please do not keep us waiting.
Do we understand each other? If I find out it was you that broke into my office, you'll wish you were back in the basement, buddy.
We are needed inside.
Good to have you back.
I suppose there could have been other stuff that changed on the map, but I really didn't feel up to looking for it. Whee! Okay, so I guess the main thing to take away from this is if you create a game and it's going to be a prolonged experience, people are going to judge the part that they're playing at the time against everything that they've played previously. Absolutely all of it. So if you're not consistent or you have changes in there, they're going to stand out to people. So basically the longer and more in-depth your project, the more post-production work you need to do polishing it and refining it. Also, the longer that you work on something, the harder it is to look at it objectively because all you remember is everything that you wanted to put there or that you think you put there. So if people react to it in a way you didn't expect, that means it probably didn't come out the way you imagined, and you should probably consider that rather than insult them. Also, you should probably avoid mocking the work of seasoned and celebrated professionals, then crying when other people criticize you.